It is 11 p.m. You feel an incredible surge of energy, and you swear that tomorrow will be completely different. You set your alarm, plan the perfect morning workout, and schedule a solid block of deep. But then, morning arrives. The alarm rings, and all that fiery midnight motivation has completely vanished. You feel completely paralyzed, opting to melt into the couch and scroll through your phone instead of facing your tasks. You immediately start beating yourself up, asking, "Why am I so incredibly lazy?" But you are not lazy. Your brain's neurochemistry just pulled a brilliant trick on you. So let us look inside. To understand motivation, we have to look at the reward center of your brain, specifically an area called the striatum. Think of this part of your brain as a highly conservative, strictly logical accountant. Before you do anything, this accountant constantly weighs two factors: the effort required versus the expected reward. To tilt the scale towards action, your brain uses a very special biological currency called dopamine. Now, most people think dopamine is about pleasure, but it is actually the chemical of drive and anticipation. Here is the problem. Your grand goals, like getting fit or learning a new skill, take months of hard work. The reward is simply too far away, so the accountant looks at the massive effort and completely refuses to release the dopamine. Your brain decides the return on investment is terrible, and it immediately slams on the brakes. From an evolutionary standpoint, your brain is just doing its job, trying to conserve precious calories to keep you alive. It prefers sure things over distant possibilities, so you lose your drive and stay right there on the couch. But this situation gets so much worse when we factor in modern technology. Your phone, social media, and video games are perfectly designed to provide massive, instant dopamine hits. They require absolutely zero effort from you, but they deliver an enormous neurochemical reward. When you consume this cheap dopamine all day, your brain's baseline tolerance skyrockets. So when you finally try to sit down and read a difficult textbook or do some actual work, the natural dopamine released by studying simply cannot compete with the massive payout from your phone. The task feels painfully boring, and your brain actively rebels, begging you to go back to the screen. You are not losing motivation because you are a bad person. You are losing it because you are severely overstimulated. This creates the biggest psychological trap of all, waiting to feel like it before you actually start working. If you wait for the magical emotion of motivation to just spontaneously appear, you will be waiting forever. We have the entire formula completely backwards because we think that motivation leads to action. In reality, it works the exact opposite way. Action leads to progress, and progress is what generates motivation. When you force yourself to take the very first step, your brain registers a tiny, unexpected win. That small win releases a drop of dopamine, which gives you the actual drive to take the next step. This is exactly why neuroscientists highly recommend the 5-minute rule to completely hack your brain's accountant. Tell yourself you will only do the dreaded task for exactly 5 minutes, and then you have full permission to quit. The initial cost is so low that the brain's accountant does not resist, allowing you to bypass the friction. But once you actually start, the absolute hardest part, the initiation, is officially over, and physics takes over. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, and once that flywheel is spinning, you will usually just keep going. The action itself creates the exact dopamine wave you were waiting for in the very first place. To maintain this momentum, you must stop relying on pure willpower, break massive, intimidating goals into ridiculously small, daily micro-tasks to give your brain frequent, easy wins. Lower the barrier to entry for good habits, like putting your running shoes right next to your bed the night before. And most importantly, you have to completely starve the cheap dopamine distractions while you are trying to work. Put your phone in another room and let your brain recalibrate to find normal, everyday things rewarding again. Remember that motivation is just a temporary feeling, and just like the weather, it is absolutely guaranteed to change. You cannot build a successful life on a feeling. You have to build it on solid systems and discipline. Stop judging yourself so harshly for losing motivation, because it is just a biological algorithm functioning normally. You just needed to learn how to speak its unique language. So, stop waiting for the perfect mood to strike. Just pick one single task and set a timer for 5 minutes. Just start. I promise you, the motivation will catch up with you along the way. Thanks for watching. If this helped you understand your brain a little better, subscribe for more. Now, go get to work.